Yo, this is your boy Night Soil here with the best leaks for Game of Thrones that are assuredly false. Here you come with Season 8, Episode 1. The shoot starts on the floor of a high-priced, nonetheless, by-the-hour, high-powered DC hotel, the city lights rising in the shot as the camera approaches the glass of the balcony and DC glitters and flickers back at them, reflecting the evilness contained in that dark room between the two sibling lovers. Enter Cersei and Jaime. Cersei and Jaime stand before the window, naked except for the lies they use to keep warm. The Golden twins of the political dynasty maker and known Washington, D.C. power broker Tywin Lannister fused their inheritance of his talent with their own blonde bodies and black ambitions. They had just fixed the election, aligning numerous dark forces so that the Night King would beat Daenerys via the Electoral College. Jaime to Cersei. Do you ever feel bad about rigging the election for the Night King in the 5 minutes since we learned it was successful? Cersei. After we found out that Kevin Spacey threw his reporter mistress in front of a train, it was a moral obligation to unseat House Targaryen. They kiss. A series of squeaks occur at the window despite it being night outside. Someone seems to be squeegeeing the window and eavesdropping simultaneously. Enter Tyrion. It is none other than Tyrion Lannister, disguised as a window washer, to confirm the incestuous, cross-party line, election rigging, which caused his candidate, therefore he himself, to lose. Scene 2. At the glass and chrome covered club, filled with base, itself hidden in a respectable charnel house on the other side of the city, where the powerful wind up to knock back a few so as to wind down. Period. Enter the Night King and Jon Snow. The Night King looks to the head of his Secret Service detail and thinks about, with inner delight, perhaps, warmth, how he became to manipulate this young man into becoming his lover, and in the meantime he himself was falling in love. He takes Jon Snow's hand and looking into his eyes, asking, "What's wrong? You seem distracted." Jon Snow, distracted, pulls his hand away and slowly looking into the Night King's face, remembers the first time his cold breath graced the back of his neck, and the feeling the dragonglass left in his pocket, understanding that the betrayal of the man he came to love, despite protecting him as an undead president, was going to hurt terribly. So he pulled on his gloves and pulled the always chilly the Night King close to his face for a Judas kiss. These are great plot spoilers, y'all. Your boy Night Soil again, representing the best leaks. The best leaks. Leaking more than Donald Trump's White House. Leaking more than Donald Trump in Russia hotel rooms. Scene number 3, setting at Littlefinger's barbecue restaurant in urban DC. The smoke of wood chips and the smell of slow roasting dead animal. Littlefinger, proprietor, tries to convince Sansa Stark, ace reporter, to create an expose based on false information, nonetheless correctly blaming the Lannisters for throwing the election, and is also seeking to convince Sansa to out Arya as a secret CIA assassin. Sansa. I do not know why you want me to out the secret identity of my sister, especially after she went through all that effort to get rid of her identity in the first place. Littlefinger. Dripping barbecue sauce and sleaze from his fingers. It's not so much to out her, per se, but it's like facilitating a debutante ball if everyone seeks to murder her. Now, eat some more barbecue and get some meat on those bones. Your mother was curvier at your age. Isn't that shocking? Scene number 4. At the right place in the wrong time, crammed into a business suit he could not afford, with years of his old grave-digging salary, the Hound looks out from the White House windows, trying to reckon what it really was that caused him to become Vice President of the United States of America. He thinks about the childhood tragedy that disfigured him. He thinks about the effort spent rampaging around the land, murdering for hire, faithfully. Nonetheless, ending up almost running the free world. Melisandre enters. Melisandre takes his hand and warms it gently with her fiery touch. He winces. She apologizes. He turns to look down at her. She looks up at him. The Lord of Light gives them a vision of being happy as the first Parsi family in office. Period. It's because the Parsis were fire worshippers, y'all. You know that? You know that? Night Soil with your trivia facts. Scene number 5. Deep in the archive room, Supreme Court Chief Justice Samuel Tarley, wearing his robes, looks through the ancient constitutional documents, discovering with a shout that the undead were barred by technicality from holding office of the President of the United States, thus invalidating the current administration. He does not stop to think, who may have first hidden this information from the American public, he does not stop and think that the person may be sneaking up behind him right now. He does not know what to do when he drops all the documents because someone from the darkness begins to darkly tickle him all up and down his sides, from his armpits down to the sensitive areas right above his butt. He was tickled and tickled nearly to death, and when he woke up, the documents were missing, and the Night King was again the rightful president. Shocking. Scene 6. Episode 1, Season 8, Leaking. Leaking right now. Senator Beric Dondarrion of Kentucky, of the Party Without Banners, looked at his scripts with one eye, feeling it was the best speech he'd ever written. For quite some time he had been interested in the wildling struggle, in particular that their land was being used to build a fence to keep them from the rest of their rightful land. He was to be the voice of those beyond the border wall, now on this side of the border wall, who want to help people on the other side of the wall. That aside, he now had to attend to the unpleasant business of escalating the corrective action against his intern, Mr. Jorah Mormont, who had been caught photocopying parts of himself to fax to the old gods know who. Jorah, always stirring up problems. Scene number 7. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this shocking revelation? Sitting in the grimy community college classroom, Drogon and Viserys are crammed into desks implied for students much smaller than themselves. They both felt as if they wanted to explode. Here they were, dragons, nevertheless stuck in a Calculus 1 class, seamlessly wasting their time and their lives away when they could be out burning up DC, thus in due accordance with their nature. One day, they would teach everybody. Scene 8, and I want to point out these hidden clues right here. Notice that these are punctuation marks right here. That's how you know it's official, leaked from HBO, because they were holding the shift key down when they pushed those buttons. Secret. But I know the and symbol's secretly at number 7, and the asterisk is secretly at number 8, even if it was a typewriter that may have been used involving this. Getting up from the conference table as the projector powered down, welding her into the darkness, Brienne of Tarth, FBI special agent, patted herself on the back for giving such a great presentation regarding her special investigation into the wrongdoings of President the Night King. She knew he could conclusively prove Lannister involvement, especially since her heart had been rebuffed by one of the Lannisters involved. Several systematic leaks, like this one, had caused the populace to question Daenerys' ability to govern in relation to her abilities as a parent. After the unfortunate freezing death of one of her dragons, she left him out in the cold. However, she knew not where the leaks were coming from. But one such leak led to realize that the Night King was going to remove her as head of the special investigation, and she was concerned that this would engender a constitutional crisis. Consequently, she decided to flee south of the border wall. Scene 9. Standing in front of the small, otherwise nonchalant and unnoticeable nail and care and waxing center, Circe looked into the glass to find her friend and needed assistant, the hypno-assassin, codenamed The Mountain, who worked inside as a nail care technician. She walks in and asks after a pedicure, stating that she would wait for his services. He does not see her. She thumbs through Antebellum Monthly until she sees an opportunity to sit in the chair while he excused himself to probably drink some blood or something, focus on his face when he sees her, her face seeing him, seeing her. He was a tough man, undefeatable on the battlefield, but sensitive at heart. He knew the Dark Lannister secret of their poor nail care, and he sighed because he wanted to go home today early and play with his Welsh corgi, and did not want to hear her whine and whinge about her gross brother friend. Unfortunately, y'all, we only got 9 scenes leaked right there. I don't know what the 10th one will be. This is your boy Night Soil talking about Game of Thrones leaks that are assuredly false. I'll be coming at you next week with more assuredly false statements. Tell me what you think. Is Cersei going to hire the Mountain to kill Jaime? Is she going to get a pedicure? Does she take care of her nails better now after the lecture he gave her? Will Drogon and Viserys shoot up their school? Will Senator Beric Dondarrion of Kentucky, the bloody land, revenge himself for the danger occurring to the wildlings and their border wall? How about Littlefinger's barbecue restaurant? Will he make Sansa become unvegetarian? Will the Hound continue to be the vice president? All these questions. This is your boy Night Soil. Mesilla Park representing.